If you clicked on this video, congratulations. The courage to face the truth is not for everyone. Most people prefer to live in the sweet illusion of their choices, pretending everything is fine, feeding a life full of lies. But let me be direct. That's what leads them to failure. Today, I'm going to share 5 truths I learned in the underworld. Truths you might not want to hear. But it's these lessons that, even in the darkest corners of society, ensure survival, loyalty, and above all, power. The first truth you need to hear, kid. In the world of relationships, words are the fakest currency that exists. This is something I learned in the alleys and shadows of life. In the game of relationships, sweet words are worth less than the coins dropped on the park floor. I love you. You're everything to me. Sounds like music, right? But the music stops playing as soon as you mess up. You ask, but Don Luca, wasn't that love? Ah, kid, true love isn't what they tell you in fairy tales. Words are like cigar smoke. They impress, but quickly disappear into the air. Those who throw these phrases around aren't just fooling you. They're fooling themselves. It's like a con artist swearing he's got an ace up his sleeve when he doesn't even know how to hold a deck of cards. Promises? Don't cling to them. They're easy to make and even easier to break. When the wind blows against them, those people disappear faster than a crook in a police raid. Why? Because they don't want to face the truth that no one is perfect. Not you, not them. But here's the trick. These people can't stand looking in the mirror and seeing their own flaws. They'd rather turn their backs and run. So kid, learn this once and for all. Moments are valuable, but sweet words, just enjoy the sound because they carry no weight. In my world, trust is like gold. It doesn't come easily, and it's never given for free. Those who don't hold your hand when you mess up were never truly by your side. When someone leaves you, be grateful. Yeah, you heard me right. Be grateful. At the end of the day, it's better to be alone than to rely on a shadow that only sticks around when the sun is shining. The worth of a true ally lies in staying when things get tough, not in whispering sweet promises during the calm. So, remember this, kid. Those who abandon you after your first mistake never truly loved you. Ah, money. You've heard of it, haven't you? Of course you have. Everyone talks about it, but few truly understand what it means. That old saying, money can't buy happiness, comes from those who've never felt the weight of scarcity. Listen closely. Money isn't just a tool, it's a ticket, a passage to places you never even dreamed existed. Without it, you're left on the outside, peering through the cracks, never stepping in. Money does something nobody likes to admit. It reveals who you are, not the person you pretend to be, but who you could truly become if you had the resources. With it, you can break free from your cage, learn, explore, transform. Want to create, live, dream? Money grants you that freedom. Without it, kid, you're just a prisoner of what you can't do. I learned this in the streets and in the halls of power. I've seen brilliant minds crushed by poverty. People who could have changed the world but were defeated by their circumstances. Maybe the greatest artist of the century never touched an instrument because their hands were too busy holding a shovel. Maybe the greatest inventor died without access to a single book. It's cruel, but that's the world. The lack of money doesn't just limit your dreams, it suffocates them before they even begin. Now, Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you. Money isn't an end, but a means, and a powerful means. It gives you choices, options that those without it can only dream of reaching. In my world, money means respect. It buys safety, it buys time. But beware, it can also blind you. Those who fail to understand this lose their way. Never worship it like an idol, but always respect what it represents. The third truth, kid, is about judgment. It doesn't matter how many times you do the right thing. What will stick in people's minds is the mistake you made. It could be a word out of place, a slip-up from years ago, something you don't even remember. But that, oh, it comes back like a ghost knocking at your door. Why? Because when you're climbing up, there's always someone down below trying to pull you down. That's the price of rising in a world full of mediocrity. Back in my day, this happened in alleyways and on street corners. Today, the arena has changed. Social media, family gatherings, friendly conversations, it's all just a new version of the same dirty game. I've seen people get crucified for a comment they made years ago, something they didn't even remember saying. And the worst part? It's not just about celebrities. Even in the everyday world, people love digging up someone else's past. Why? Because they can't stand seeing you move forward while they remain stuck in the same place, suffocating in their own insignificance. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, I was seeing a woman. Everything was fine until a friend, and make sure you put a lot of quotation marks around that, decided to speak up right in front of her. He said, "Remember that time you did that thing?" It was some nonsense I'd buried over a year ago, but he dug it up. Why? Envy. He couldn't stand that I was doing well, moving past my mistakes, living my life. He needed to try and drag me back down to his level. That's when I learned, in the world of small men, your success is the ultimate crime. Remember this, kid. When you're on top, someone will try to bring you down. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. That's the price of shining in a place where everyone else prefers the shadows. Waiting for miracles. I respect any religion, whether you believe in one God, many, or none at all. But in the world I grew up in, I learned that faith alone isn't enough. Listen closely. Praying, believing, waiting for a miracle. It's all beautiful, but without action, it's worthless. No one is coming to save you. God, the saints, the universe, whatever you believe in, won't show up to fix your problems. Faith is a powerful weapon, but it only works if you know how to wield it. If you think all it takes is sitting down, praying and waiting for things to happen, you're living in a dream. Faith without action is like an unloaded revolver. It makes noise, but it solves nothing when you need it most. Think about this. If someone came to you every day asking for help, complaining about their life but doing nothing to change it, how long would you put up with it? A week? Maybe a month? Now, why would you expect God or fate to be any different? Faith is like fuel for an engine, but you still have to drive the car. Filling up the tank won't help if the vehicle stays parked. If you want something to change, get up and make it happen. Luck, kid, isn't something that falls from the sky. It's something you create through hard work and determination. In my world, depending on others is a shortcut to ruin, and leaving everything in God's hands or whoever you believe in is the same as giving up control of your life. True faith isn't an excuse for inaction. It's a force that pushes you forward. So take my advice. Pray. But while you're on your knees, think about the next step you're going to take. Ask for help, but to make sure you're doing your part. Because in the game of life, those who wait for miracles are wasting the time they should be using to build their own future. God didn't give you faith so you could hide behind it. He gave it to you so you could use it as the strength to face whatever comes your way. You'll never be happy forever. Forget this fairy tale of happily ever after. That's the stuff of children's books. And here in the real world, it doesn't work like that. What we have are moments, brief sparks of happiness that flash like lightning in the dark. And before you realize it, they're gone. Why? Because we humans are like a leaky cup. We always want more, always feel like something's missing. And when we get everything, do you know what's left? A deafening emptiness that asks, now what? In my time, I've seen men with everything anyone could desire, fortunes, power, influence. And do you know what they did? They kept hunting, always chasing more, even when there was nothing left to conquer. Because deep down, what drove these men wasn't what they had in their hands. It was what they could still reach. Purpose, kid, is what keeps us alive. And without it, we rot from the inside. It's not the world that steals our happiness. It's our own mind, always searching for the next thing to desire. Let me ask you something. Have you ever missed a time that seemed happier? I bet you have. Well, let me tell you something. That's an illusion. You weren't happier back then. What you had was a clear purpose, something that pushed you forward. But like everything else, that moment passed. And now, instead of looking ahead, you're stuck in what once was. That's the mistake many make. Life isn't made of happy endings, kid. There's no perfect destination where everything magically works out. Life is made of ups and downs, of joyful moments mixed with challenges, of ordinary days interrupted by glimpses of something greater. And that, my friend, is perfectly fine. Stop waiting for the day when everything will be perfect. That day doesn't exist. Perfect happiness is a mirage, something that vanishes the moment you try to reach it. What exists is the now, the moment you hold in your hands.